You felt it, haven't you? That quiet, nagging feeling that the color has been drained from your life. It's the low hum of dissatisfaction under everything. You have the job, the friends, the life you're supposed to want. But in the quiet moments, late at night, one question keeps bubbling up. Is this it? You are not alone. So many people are feeling this same hollow ache, this deep sense of being disconnected, and they think it means they're fundamentally broken. But what if this emptiness isn't a sign that you failed? What if it's a signal, a planet-wide alarm clock? It's the feeling of being adrift in a sea of noise, of performing a life instead of actually living it. Why does a life that looks so good on paper feel so empty in practice? Our society values profit over people, consumption over connection, and what other people think over what we know to be true. It's a necessary tool, but the crisis hits when we forget it's a mask. When we start to believe the persona is all we are, we starve the deeper, wilder parts of ourselves. That emptiness you feel. It's the cry of this neglected self, the part of you that's been pushed aside. It's the main feature of a massive global shift. What feels like a personal failure is actually your soul responding to a planetary call to awaken. And the end of a cycle, clearing the ground for something new to begin. This feeling of a spiritual shift is showing up in hard data. Research from the Barna Group, which tracks faith and culture, paints a fascinating picture. While traditional religious structures are struggling, with some reports showing the percentage of Americans holding a classical biblical worldview in the single digits. There's a powerful surge in spiritual seeking happening at the same time. One stunning Barna report from 2025 revealed a 12 percentage point jump in personal commitment to Jesus since 2021, a trend driven not by older generations, but by millennials and Gen Z. This points to a generation that isn't becoming less spiritual. They're actively looking for meaning outside of old institutions and blending philosophies to find what feels true, a trend Barna has identified as syncretism. It points to a time of deep reflection on what we need to let go of to move forward. The awakening asks you to define it by internal feelings, authenticity, connection, and purpose. This is a quiet, courageous act of rebellion. It means choosing what feels true over what keeps you comfortable. Not the superficial kind found in social media likes or networking events, but real, vulnerable connection. It means connecting to your body by listening to what it's telling you instead of numbing it out. It means building deep, honest friendships where you can show up without the mask on. And it means reconnecting with the natural world, remembering that you are part of a living ecosystem, not just a cog in a machine. This is about finding your tribe, the people who see and support the real you, not just the version of you that you perform. The emptiness is not an absence of something, but a space that has been cleared for something new to be born. That something is the real you. And the world is desperately waiting for you to emerge. It means having the guts to say no to the things that drain your soul and yes, to the quiet whispers of your own heart. What would you do if you weren't scared of what people would think? If this message is hitting home for you, share your experience in the comments. Just writing it down is a powerful first step in making the unconscious conscious. And if you want to go deeper on this path, subscribe for more explorations into this great unfolding. What makes you feel alive, even if it doesn't pay the bills or get you applause? It's time to decide what a rich life actually means to you, not what you've been told it should be. This is a call to stop looking for answers outside of yourself and finally start the journey inward. This crisis is the pressure needed to crack open the shell of the life you were supposed to want, so you can discover the life that's truly waiting for you. This isn't just a crisis. It's a spiritual crisis, and 2025 is right at the heart of it. We are cut off from nature, from our communities, from work that feels meaningful, and most critically from our own authentic selves. This isn't a problem you can solve with a checklist. It's a journey of integration, of becoming whole again. The path forward is built on three essential truths. That feeling of being broken and lost is a sacred, necessary, and temporary part of the process. You're not failing. You're just shedding a skin. You're dissolving an old identity that was never really yours to begin with. We learn early on to ignore our gut feelings to fit in, to be liked. And that creates a painful split between the person we really are and the person we pretend to be. It's everything you've learned to believe is wrong with you. Jung famously said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." That emptiness is filled with the energy of your disowned self. The only way out is through. Turn toward that darkness with curiosity, not judgment. Ask yourself, what have I been terrified to feel? What do I judge in other people that might just be a reflection of a part of me I've rejected? This shadow work is how you take your power back from your subconscious. That's the question that breeds a special kind of shame, the one that keeps you up at night. We tell ourselves we should be grateful. We have no real reason to feel this way. We're caught in a machine that wasn't built for human flourishing. And that deep ache you feel is a perfectly sane response to an insane environment. You are not broken. You're a sensitive instrument, and you're correctly detecting that something is deeply out of tune in the world. So we silence the part of us that's screaming for something more, and we push the emptiness down deeper. In the symbolic language of astrology, for example, this period is defined by Pluto's journey through Aquarius, something that happens only once every 250 years. Astrologers see this as a time of radical social change, where old, rigid power structures start to crumble and a powerful hunger for collective freedom and authenticity rises up. Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth. Its energy is said to drag society's shadows into the light so they can be transformed. It's that bone-deep exhaustion that sleep can't fix, because it comes from the massive effort of holding up an identity that just doesn't fit anymore. It's the loneliness that hits you hardest when you're in a room full of people. On the outside, everything looks fine. The boxes are checked. The career is moving. The social media feed is perfectly curated. But inside, there's a hollowness, a joylessness that's both sharp and hard to name, telling you it's time to wake up. But for a growing number of us, that script led to a dead end. We're standing in the life we built, surrounded by everything we worked for, and we feel nothing, or worse, a quiet panic, the creeping dread that we've been chasing the wrong things the entire time. So we scroll through the highlight reels of other people's lives, looking for a mirror, but all we find is more performance, which just makes us feel even more alone. There's a silent epidemic running through our world. This isn't just a string of bad days. It's become a chronic state of being for so many. We were sold a script: get the degree, the job, the house, the partner, and you'll be happy. And here's the part that really messes with your head, the paradox. It's something the physician Dr. Gabor Mate talks about often, how modern culture systematically disconnects us from what we actually need to be well. The great psychoanalyst Carl Jung called this social mask the persona. It's the polished, acceptable version of us that we show the world. This feeling is amplified by a world that's spinning faster, demanding more of our energy for things that feel less and less important. This is the turning point. The crisis you're feeling, this collective sense of being lost, isn't just a bug in your system. This isn't about one specific prophecy. It's about a convergence of energies that people are trying to understand through different languages. In the language of numerology, 2025 adds up to a 9. Symbolically, the number 9 represents completion, wisdom, but this isn't just symbolic. The emptiness you feel is a vacuum. Old systems of meaning are falling apart, both for you and for the world. So, if this is an awakening, how do you actually get through it? First, turn inward and face your shadow, the parts of yourself you've been taught to deny. Your anger, your sadness, your unacceptable desires are what Carl Jung called the shadow. Second, redefine success and meaning. The old world defined success with external scores, money, status, achievements. Third, cultivate genuine connection. This whole crisis is born from disconnection. The antidote is connection. This journey from emptiness to wholeness is the most important work you will ever do. It's the path of coming home to yourself. The spiritual crisis of 2025 isn't some event to dread in the future. It's the reality we are all living through right now. The path ahead might feel uncertain, but for the first time, it can be authentically your own.